Hey, what's up YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm bringing another video for my breaking down exercises series. Today we are going over hip thrust, and this one have been highly requested, so I'm so excited to finally bring this video of where I'm explaining the hip thrust and explaining what to focus on and how to perform them in a safe way with proper form. So unfortunately, mostly because of Instagram, I'm guessing a lot of women are actually doing the hip thrust wrong, and it's pretty bad. Most women I see are hyper extending their lower back, like literally they are arching their back like their life depended on it. They have what I call a bad girl syndrome, I guess. And when they are hyper extending in the lower back, they are also not tucking in their rib cage, and that's one of the biggest mistakes I see when women are doing the hip thrust. So hip thrusts are my absolute favorite exercise for the glutes. It is a compound movement. It works multiple muscles at once, but it's really emphasizing on the glutes. But it is also working your hamstrings, your quads, and your core. So your core means your lower back muscles and your obliques and abdominals. So when setting up for the hip thrust, you want to use a standard size bench, but you want to find a bench that is stable and attached to the floor, or at least secure the bench with some heavy dumbbells behind so the bench is not moving when you're using it. So the placement of your feet have to be a shoulder width apart, and your toes have to face forwards, and you want to be slightly above the ground, placing the bench right underneath your shoulder blades. But in this starter position, it's okay to put your butt down and let it rest on the ground. So for the hip thrust, you can use dumbbells, barbells, kettlebells, and whatnot, but I highly recommend that you use a barbell. That allows you to use full range of motion when you're doing the hip thrust. So you want to place the barbell right underneath your hip bone, and you want to put some kind of towels, or what I use is a hip thrust pad or a thrust pad. I actually have it right here, and if you don't have one of these, if your gym don't have one of these, I highly recommend that you invest in one of these, because these are a lifesaver for the hip thrust. I know that the barbell can be super uncomfortable right underneath your hips, and whenever I place the barbell in one of these, like, I don't even feel it at all. All I feel is the weight and not the discomfort of the barbell. I will be linking these down below if you want to get one of these, and if not, that's okay. You can just use some towels as well. So from here, you want to place the barbell, as I just mentioned, on your hips, and then you can start thrusting. So as I mentioned, in the starting position, it's okay to rest your butt or bum on the ground, but whenever you're in movement, you want to keep your glutes slightly above the ground throughout the reps. Another mistake that I also see is that some people lift up the weight by their arms, like they will place their arms on the bench and actually use your arms to lift the weight as well. So please do not do this, or you will be missing out on a lot of lean mass. Also, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, do not hyperextend your lower back when you're doing hip thrust. Make sure to tuck in your rib cage, squeeze your core, and like that you are having a more neutral spine throughout the movement. This also means that the load is no longer going to your lower back, but actually the whole load is going to glutes and glutes alone. By hyperextending in your lower back when you're doing the hip thrust, you're actually removing a lot of the load from the glutes, and that's why some can also get lower back pain from doing the hip thrust. Okay, so on the concentric movement of the hip thrust, I like to move a little bit faster and really squeeze at the top. I also like to hold it for a second or two at the top, like on the isometric hold, just to get the most out of the movement, and also make sure you fully extend in your hips when you are in the isometric stand. So that means when you are fully extended, make sure you really extend your hips to the fullest and really squeeze your glutes at the top, because I have also seen some do not extend fully, and that means they are actually cheating on their reps. And then for the eccentric movement, so when you go down, I like to move a little bit slower and have a slower controlled movement when you go down. And that is basically it, I think. I don't think I forgot anything. I probably did, because I always do. And if you want to take your hip thrust to the next level, if you really want to target those side glutes, your hips, to build rounder hips and get that beautiful hip pop when you pose for your selfie, by using the resistance band, you are targeting your side glutes, which is gluteus medius and minimus. These aren't worked as much as the gluteus maximus and the hip thrust, so by using the resistance bands, you are really getting the most out of the exercise, and that's when you are really going to start seeing a change. So these are the resistance bands that I used in this video. You don't necessarily have to use my resistance bands, but I would highly recommend these. These come with no slip, so they won't be sliding anywhere, and also these won't snap. They are pretty tough. This is a size large. They come in also small and medium. I use myself a small for the hip thrust. If you're interested in getting your own resistance bands, I will be linking these down below, but again, you don't have to get these. You can just get any resistance band there is on the market. I would just highly recommend these just because I know they won't just snap in half like most other rubber resistant bands does. But yeah, that is it for this video. You can do so many variations of hip thrust. You can do single leg hip thrust, laying hip thrust just on the ground without using the bench. You can do elevated hip thrust. I think there's another hip thrust called the frog thrust where your feet are touching. But yeah, I could keep going. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did, and also make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you want to watch more videos like this. And I'll see you guys in my next video.